Hi everyone, it's Nicky here and I'm coming to you from Glasshouse 2. This is a beautiful young crop, but today we have just done some spreading of the plants. So the spreading of the plants is basically up the top of the crop you'll get lots of little tendrils. Cucumbers are naturally a vine crop, so the little tendrils will spread out and they'll grab onto anything to support themselves. Even though we use the clipping technique where we clip them to strings that are connected to the hooks up just below the roof, which we lower when they get too high, the strings are totally supporting these cucumber plants, and we clip them with a clipping gun, which is a metal clip that goes around the clip goes around the stem, and we clip it all the way up. Every couple of days we clip the plants to the string. But nevertheless, their natural thing is to put these tendrils out, and the tendrils grab onto strings or onto the plants next door. So we've come through today after our harvesting. Our beautiful clipping team, who are very talented at this job, they came through and then they basically spread the plants away from each other, and they do it quite gently, soft hands, quite quickly, and they basically break the joins with the tendrils where the tendrils are, and they break them off so those plants are no longer connected to each other. And the important thing about this is tomorrow when we come and lower the plants, we lower the hook that actually has the string that's connected to the plant. If you're lowering this one and it actually connected to another plant that's still high, you can accidentally break the head. So it's really important that the plants are separated from each other, and we can't leave it too long before we lower the process. We do the lowering, because these little tendrils, they're really little naughty little buggers, they will grab onto each other again. So once you started that lowering, we separate the plants and then we're off. So we lower and then we spread the plants, because if you load the plants just in situ, you would end up having all the stem dragging down and being on the floor. Not only is it dangerous for bugs and diseases, but it's also with our trolleys going up and down the rails, they would get caught up there and all tied up in the strings. So we lower the hook and we then spread the plant across. So this little plant here, it starts here, and after the 8 weeks of being lowered, it will be almost 8 weeks away from where it started. So quite an interesting thing about a vine crop like cucumbers that we are growing. Okay, so now I've given you some of that information. Let's talk about what we're really here for. So today I'm talking about episode 13. So episode 13 is going to be short and sweet. It's basically a big message to all the growers out there, is that please, if you're growing a crop, any crop or any farmer out there, tell your story. Get on. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be a spokesperson. You just have to get on there and tell people about your story, because if we don't control of the story about a product that we care about, someone else is going to tell our story, and it may not be the correct or true one, or with all the details and the work that goes behind it. So my episode 13 is all about no one loves your product or what you do as much as you do, and that's so true. So farming is such a noble profession, and I know so many amazing farmers around the world. I've been very fortunate. My husband and I, Wade and I, have both been Nuffield farming scholars, and the Nuffield farming scholarship is around the world. It's a global entity, and we are Australian Nuffield farming scholars, and we were privileged to travel the world with groups of farmers and discover everything about farming. And farmers are amazing. They're resilient, they are innovative, and they are truly determined, sometimes stubborn individuals, because we really are determined to keep doing, which most people wouldn't actually put up with. I mean, a lot of times farmers are really at the mercy of the elements. We're in protected cropping here at Family Fresh Farms. We're in beautiful glass houses, and they're 7 meters to the gutter, and then we've got beautiful glass on top. We've got vents so we can open and close the ventilation. We can bring shade screens across. We can fog. We can introduce CO2. We can irrigate, and do all the things that a lot of people can't control, the precipitation or the weather or the wind or the hail, etc. But in protected cropping, we do have some control. But because it is very intensive agriculture and precision agriculture, you've got a lot of plants in a small space, you can get very quick transferal of pests and diseases. Which brings me on to another thing that I'd like to introduce today, that we use integrated pest management. So for those of you who don't know, it's the use of natural bugs that then eat the bad bugs, and it's also using some soft sprays or some fungal or bacteria that, like there's a bacillus, so it's actually the bacteria grows on the outside of the caterpillars and it eats their skin, and so that they can't retain, without a skin they die off. So it's a natural way of combating pests and diseases in a natural way. So every week we do a release of, we actually have a release of cucumeris, and we actually mix them with monterensis, and they all come already made for us by Biological Services in South Australia. So they come on an aeroplane to us, and they're mixed up in vermiculite, and our team go and they basically disperse, I hope I can, they disperse the granules of vermiculite onto the leaves, and they're full of good bugs that then go off, and they've got real hungry stomachs. They've been on an aeroplane and haven't had, in service, and so they get here and they go looking for the prey, and most of the time it's and this time they're looking for thrips, and they will go and find the thrips, and they'll grab hold of an adult and they chomp it away, and if they find the thrip eggs, it'll be like them sitting at a bar eating peanuts. So we use a lot of integrated pest management here, so that because we pick the cukes every single day, so it's a 365 day of the year product, we can't afford to have withholding periods because we're using tough or harsh chemicals. So here we really pride ourselves in doing a really good job. Like most farmers out there, we really respect what we do, and we respect our customers and our consumers, and we want to make good, wholesome food that is good for you, that's healthy, and so, as I say, you need to sing your praises of what you do as farmers, because after all, we work bloody hard, and we put our life, heart and soul into it, and so does our team here behind us. They really take care to make our food safe, and that we're doing it in the best possible way, that we are also taking into consideration the environment around us. We recycle all our water and our nutrients, and we take real care in making sure that as much of this crop is compostable. So all our strings are bio-twine. We use non-galvanized, what are they called? They are called clips, and so that they can break down really quickly. All the rock wool that we grow on, we take the plastic off. The plastic gets compressed, that does go to landfill, but the rest of the grow wool gets chomped up in our Hecon crop change machine, and that gets sent off for composting, because it's full of these leaves which are full of nutrients and goodness, and that goes off for reuse and in another agricultural farm. So my message today is simple: just love what you do and make sure you share the messages. And I apologize for the noise. That is Bright bringing in trolleys for tomorrow, but that's all from me from today. So that is episode 13 done and dusted.